doesn't make you very happy. Ah, there we go.
Welcome to the January 24th meeting of the Rotary Club of Jamestown. Please join me in reciting the Pledge of Allegiance, singing of our national anthem, and repeating the four-way test. Allegiance to the flag.
The flag.
The United States of America.
And to the
To the
republic
republic for which it
for which it
stands.
stands, one nation, under God,
Indivisible.
indivisible,
And justice for all.
with liberty and justice for all.
Oh, say.
And you see,
Oh,
I was so proudly hailed as the twilight falls. You spread stripes on bright suns to we're so good.
Nope.
And the ones bursting gave truth the night.
there we go.
Save us.
Let me see.
I'm not home of heaven.
Three, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11, 12, 13.
That sounded really good. Let's repeat the four-way test. Of the things we say or do, is it the truth?
Is it the truth?
Truth.
Is it fair to all concerned?
Is it fair
to all
concerned?
concerned?
Will it build goodwill and better friendships?
Will it build
Build
goodwill and better
better
friendships?
friendships.
And will it be beneficial to all concerned?
And
Will it be beneficial to all
Beneficial to all
concerned?
concerned.
Thank you. Becky Robbins will lead us in our invocation today.
The season of snowflakes, hot cocoa, and skiing is a beautiful time of year, but for many, it's also a time of great difficulty. The winter blues are a common problem, with many people experiencing more depression and anxiety, as well as loss of energy and motivation, in part due to not receiving enough sunlight and vitamin D. If you feel these winter blues coming on, it's important to care for yourself spiritually as well as physically and mentally. Here's a prayer to get us started. Heavenly Father, you are the source of all happiness and peace. We know that you care for us in all things and that you never let a moment pass without your loving presence. When sadness, exhaustion, and anxiety invade life, please make your presence known to us in a special way and send comfort. We ask that you be with us today to care for us as our parent. Please grant us the grace to remain gentle with ourselves, patient with those we encounter, and hopeful in prayer. Allow us to keep ourselves always in your presence today, especially when we may feel most alone. Thank you, God, for the loving care you show to us always. Amen.
Amen.
Let's see, visiting with us today, I see Taylor Scott. And I believe that is it. Oh, and Dewey Jones, but this will be the last time we recognize Dewey as a guest, I believe. All right, thank you for being here. Our Rotarily Yours recorder today is Lynn Gruhl. As always, our many thanks to the Communications Committee for everything they do to keep us informed. The Literacy Committee is meeting on Thursday, January 27th at noon. If you have any questions, please reach out to Diana Meckley. Ruth, do you have a Vision Committee announcement?
Yes, the Vision Committee will meet on a week from today, right after this meeting. So please join us.
And Joni Blackman.
And just because the Joneses are in Mexico doesn't mean you escape learning about the foundation. So there's a gala this year for the foundation, like every year. And this year, the gala is online like it was last year. So let me read this. This is from our president, Ann Birmingham. She says, only for the second time in history, our Rotary Zones 28 and 32 are holding a virtual gala and fundraiser in support of the Rotary Foundation. Last year took place in May. This year is taking place on February 23rd. So we're asking for basically 2 hours of your time. The gala with entertainment, and by golly, they listed Rotary celebrities. And I'm going to watch this just to see who the Rotary celebrities are. I mean, really. It starts at 7:45, but before that, at 6:45, our district is having a special pre-gala event. The total cost is $120. So the event costs you $20. The extra $100, you'll get a receipt for as a donation. 75% of it goes to Polio Plus, which would be $75. And $25 25 goes to Polio Plus, 75 goes to the Rotary Foundation Annual Fund. So I'm going to send you all an email. Those of you who understand, I think you all understand the importance of our foundation, Rotary Foundation. Those of you who would like to support it, go ahead and click the link, get signed up, send your money in, however you want to do it, and support our foundation. Thank you.
Thank you, Joni. Club service 50/50 signups are going around the room. If you're on Zoom and you'd like to sign up for a future date, contact Sharon Hamilton. Thank you, Sharon. If you're looking for a party, the Lancaster Depew Rotary Club will be having their centennial celebration at Russell's Steaks, Chops, and More from 5 to 7 on February 24th, and you can register through their website. Are there any other announcements from committee chairs or members? Tori, Dewey, and Mr. Olson, you're all up. It's my pleasure to bring up Tori Ergang, chair of our membership committee, for a new member induction. He's on the phone. Well, we can hold for him. Yeah, we'll take the photo after. All right, fellow Rotarians, it's my privilege and pleasure today to welcome into membership into our club, Dewey Jones, whose name was proposed by Mark Olson, who will join us in a moment. The proposal has been reviewed in accordance with the club bylaws. Dewey, we now proceed to admit you into club membership in the Rotary Club of Jamestown and to the friendship of Rotary throughout the world. You have learned that the ideal of Rotary is service, and our principal motto is service above self. The object of our club and all Rotary clubs is to encourage and foster this ideal, and we know that you will share in this effort. You have been approved for membership in this club because we believe you to be a worthy representative of your vocation, interested in the ideals of Rotary, and willing to do your share in translating these ideals into action. You have agreed to accept the obligations of membership in this club and to obey our Constitution and bylaws. You have also learned about the specific committees and opportunities to engage with Rotary, and we are eager for you to put your gifts and talents to work alongside your fellow Rotarians. And now I have the pleasure of asking Mark to present you with your Rotary emblem, which you will wear with pride.
First, yeah. Well, the one thing I have to say, the Buffalo Bills are out, but Dewey Jones is finally in. So Dewey actually approached me before COVID with an interest in joining the club. His boss, TJ, had been a member. And so we got through COVID. He started coming when we started meeting live again. And I think many of you have gotten to know him. He's been here several meetings and a couple of social events. So Dewey is general manager at TJ's. Does a great job there. He's helped me out a lot. And I think he's helped some other people in the room. So Dewey lives in Stockton with his wife and 3 children. So Dewey, welcome.
So Tori said, I needed to say a couple things. I'm not much of a speaker. She is right. But I would like to start by saying thank you to every one of y'all that's actually helped me in the process and just greeted me with open arms. I appreciate it very much. And I look forward to getting to know y'all more and helping the committee out and seeing what I can do to fit in and help the town out. I appreciate it very much.
Thank you, Dewey, and welcome to Rotary.
Thank you.
We are at the 50-50, so if I can ask Kathy Birch to come up with a bucket. Sure.
It was 55, so you get $28.
$28 to the winner. 092. Zero 92. Two. Sally, congratulations. And I see Doug Jones or Doug Conroe. Doug Jones is hanging out in Mexico, but Doug Conroe's here to shake a few dollars loose.
Mexico, yes. Enjoy. I believe I saw an I. Miller name on the tube here. Looking in today, and it is, yes, Max, there you are. And you can donate to the club electronically, you know, because I'm sure you want to recognize Sam I. Miller, who was pictured on the first soccer team, player of the year, all Western New York overall for Maple Grove. So runs in the family, I guess, huh? And Joelle was hiding in the back corner, but I did get a glimpse of her. Northwest presented a $5,000 check to Chautauqua Opportunities. Thank you, Joelle. And we know Tori's here. We just had her up front. She was in 2 newspapers for the Cathedral Oaks Art Show benefiting the Urban Forestry Fund. So, yes, thank you. Oh, and Joelle, by the way, put some money in. She has to leave a bit early. And we cannot forget our distinguished Presidente. He was in the newspaper. He's going to gerrymander. I mean, he's going to work on the legislative redistricting committee for Chautauqua County Legislature. Correct? Hey, Kevin. Good honor that they have the confidence in you to do that. That's great. If there are any Kansas City fans in the room who dare acknowledge that, we would welcome you forward. Maybe there's some Rams fans in the room. I don't know. It was one wild weekend of football. It was really something. I've talked to a lot of people who don't care much about pro football anymore, but this weekend, wow. So what a shame. No, nobody from, okay, well. So I think we're doing pretty good here. Let's see. We might find a table that has some. Oh, Joni, let's see. What do you know? What do you know? Okay. In 2003, a cabinet secretary of local note was sworn in to be the 17th person in line to the presidency? Any idea who that might be from your table? From your. Any suggestions there? From nearby Pennsylvania, Tom Ridge, okay. Did you really get that, or did you just taking it when I said they got it? Oh, okay. Oh, well, then in what year in the state did Steve Jobs introduce the Macintosh computer to the world? What year? You are 2 for 3 so far. You are really good. Really good. So, what did the opportunity do on this date that took a year to do it? Opportunity. They get this one. The rover opportunity. Who got it? What did it do? Yes, Ruth. It landed on Mars after a year's journey. Okay, so perhaps there's some happy bucks, Mr. President.
I see a couple happy bucks coming up online as well.
All right, I'm going to put in $1 for missing a couple meetings and then another $1 because I did not pay to leave early, but you know, I will stay for the entire meeting. Yeah, it's okay. So Amy and I are going to tag team this one, but I hope all of you will join us tomorrow on behalf of the United Way. Our live event, although we are very sad that it will not be in person for our campaign celebration this year, just due to all the things happening outside, we thought it'd probably be a best bet to do one more year as a virtual kickoff, or not a kickoff, but a celebration of our campaign. So I hope you all will join us at 5 o'clock. We'll be going live on Facebook. And I know Amy's going to say a little bit more about it.
I'm also putting $1 in. We will be announcing whether or not we've met our goal. So I know you're all very anxious to find out. So definitely tune in and find out. It's also a great way to learn about just the volunteers that make this happen, the community that makes this happen every year. We raise more than $1.3 million. That is a lot. That is amazing. We're also doing our first ever impact awards. And so you're going to get to hear the stories of 5 individuals in our community who have not only been impacted by one of our community programs that we fund, but also have made an impact themselves. And we'll be going live on Facebook throughout the day. Again, originally we had hoped to have it all in person, and that would have been great. But we'll be visiting them throughout the day and awarding them with their award. They also get $100 with that award to give to the local organization of their choice. So you'll find out who they'll be donating their gifts to. So thank you for that. And then I'm also going to put in $1. I hope to bring this person as a guest, but we recently hired a new finance and administration manager at United Way, Lisa Sunday. That may be a familiar name to many of you. She was formerly the operation and finance person at United Way of Northern Chautauqua County, and we are actually entering a new partnership with them and sharing that position. So I'm super excited to have her, and I will be bringing her to Rotary very soon as a guest so that you can all meet her. So thank you very much.
One happy buck as a board member of the United Way, and I challenge all other board members to do so. Thank you, Vince.
Okay, so there's $1 being a board member for the United Way. Great, great anticipation for tomorrow. I also want to put in $1 for Bryce and Rachel Steffen. The Winterfest in Bemis Point was absolutely spectacular this year. Tons of people, tons of snowmobiles, all kinds of neat stuff. So great leaders in the community who know how to rally a community and do things right. That's at the Bemis Point Tap House. They got great food and beer too. Thanks.
And this is Sally Martinez returning her winnings to 50-50 today.
Former United Way board member and recipient of grants from the United Way. Thank you.
Last call for any online happy bucks. All right. Steve, there was no arm twisting there of Sally, right? You were just the messenger? All right. Okay. It's my pleasure to introduce our club vice president and chair of the DEI committee, Ruth Lundeen, and her team for today's presentation.
I'm speechless.
I tried to sabotage it. I saw. I think that was your.
I got it.
I got a little wet.
Okay, so thank you very much. So good to see you. It's so good to see you all here. First of all, as chair of the DEI committee, I'd like to recognize my, oh dear. I've killed the computer. Here it is. I got it. There you all are. Phew, I was afraid I lost you.
Well, the shepherd said if you do that again.
Okay. How do you do that? He is a very talented president and he can handle his notes and not turn off the computer. So I would like to recognize the members of the Diversity, Equity, and Inclusion Committee, Chris Anderson, Marion Beckerink, Joni Blackman, Noah Goodling, Sharon Hamilton, Tori Ergang, Sherry Krull, Sally Martinez, and Becky Robbins. It is really a pleasure to work with this dynamic team. In 2019, the Rotary International Board of Directors adopted a diversity, equity, and inclusion, or better known as DEI, statement. In part, it reads, as a global network that strives to build a world where people unite and take action to create lasting change, Rotary values diversity and celebrates the contributions of people of all backgrounds. And further, making diversity, equity, and inclusion a priority is everyone's responsibility, from Rotary members to staff of the Secretariat. They called upon each club to form a DEI committee and to commit to becoming more inclusive as a way to strengthen clubs and to better serve our communities. Our first DEI meeting was in August, and we agreed the first thing we should do is learn about the journey our own club has taken to address diversity and inclusion over the years. First, we recognize that Paul Harris and the founding Rotarians were seeking diversity of viewpoints when Rotary set up the rule that members should be recruited from different professions rather than similar ones. It was a basic tenet of the leaders that leaders from different professions and businesses would provide unique viewpoints and strengthen the organization, expanding on ways it could provide service to the community, and that by serving the community and strengthening it, each business would itself benefit. Second, we realize that our own members can remember when women were first admitted. We have two people in the room who were a part of the first cadre of women admitted to our Rotary Club. Sally actually was admitted to a New Jersey, Port Jervis, and Diana Meckley was in that first group. So we set out to discover as much as we could about the themes of diversity and inclusion in our own club. And we hope you will enjoy this program, this video. We will also be asking you some questions at each table after the video, and we hope that you will give us your observations, feedback, and input. If you're on Zoom, we'll get breakout rooms for you so you can give us feedback and discuss the questions. These breakout sessions, by the way, are not part of the recorded meeting. After about 10 minutes, we'll come back together. But just to give you a little preview, the questions are, what in this presentation surprised you or made you stop and think? What can our Rotary do to make our club more inviting? What are some of the ways a new member can enter a Rotary meeting and feel valued? And what are big ideas we can try? After about 10 minutes talking about these, we will come back together in the group and get one or two takeaway ideas. Okay, so I'm going to now share our screen. And please make sure, everyone, that you can hear it, and this one, right?
Grandpop, I need to create a presentation for my Ethics and Leadership course on what non-political leadership opportunities we can pursue in our communities after graduating from college. Any ideas?
Sure. Do you remember seeing the pin I wear on my shirt and jacket lapel sometimes?
Yeah? What's it for?
Rotary Club. I've been a proud member of the Jamestown chapter for 40 years.
Wow, I was always proud to see you in the paper, Gramps, but I just grew up always thinking of you as a leader. Why did you decide to join Rotary?
Well, if you have a minute, I can share why you might want to join too. Take notes, and I can help you write your presentation. Our Jamestown Rotary chapter has a 4-part test we recite at every meeting. I'd like to think we try to live that test as well. We ask ourselves, is it the truth? Will it build goodwill and friendship? Will it be beneficial to all concerned? And is it fair to all concerned?
Well, tell me the truth about the Jamestown Rotary.
The truth is, son, the Jamestown chapter wasn't considered a good fit. The Buffalo chapter complained that the Jamestown business community lacked diversity. They criticized the fact that most businesses at the time were furniture manufacturers. Jamestown wouldn't give up. An electrician from Buffalo named Fred Balcom moved here in 1913 to start a Jamestown chapter, but he ended up joining a different organization. So the next year, the Buffalo chapter met and decided, again, that Jamestown wasn't worth the risk of starting a new chapter because most outgoing businessmen in the community were all in the furniture business. It's hard to believe, but we tried again in 1914 and 1916 and just kept getting rejected.
Really?
In 1919, we finally got approval from the Buffalo chapter, and the Jamestown Rotary Club was organized on May 31st, 1919, and chartered on June 17th, 1919, by 25 committed men from a diverse range of businesses. From that point forward, the club really strived to work and live into our 4-way test, starting with, is it beneficial to all concerned?
Well, how did the Rotary figure that out?
Well, we looked into the needs of our immediate community. To get the biggest bang for our buck, we established the Community Chest in 1920, which is now the United Way of Southern Chautauqua County. 2 years later, we reached out to the disabled community, or what we call crippled at the time, to offer services that were not otherwise available to them. That included transportation to attend summer camp. It's hard to believe, but the truth is many Italian Americans in our community had no access to after-school activities in the early years of Rotary's founding. So in 1938, we developed the Jamestown Boys Club. The cost to join was 25 cents a year and became a life-changing experience for many, including the late, great Jim Roselli. Because Rotary is an international organization, we all reached across the globe to build goodwill and friendship. We started in 1966 with the Adult Foreign Exchange by inviting adults to study and learn throughout Chautauqua County, including some time on the grounds of Chautauqua Institution. In 1968, we started hosting the District Exchange with students from foreign countries. One of the most incredible initiatives we became involved with was Polio Plus in 1988, and it's one we continue to work towards, and we won't stop until it's completely eradicated. As we work to expand our membership, however, we are growing in our understanding of whether it is fair to all concerned. And we had our first wake-up call in 1987 when the Supreme Court decided Rotary, as a service organization, had to accept women as members. And in 2 years, Jane Cleaver became Rotary's first female member. And within 5 years, Jane Cleaver Becker became Jamestown Rotary's first female president. Today, over 50% of our current membership is female. So I don't know where we would be without the women in our community. I think we're a richer organization having made room for folks who don't look like the original members of the Jamestown Rotary.
Thanks, Grandpop. Your explanation of Jamestown Rotary was really helpful. I know it was just a snapshot of the history, but what a great service organization. I have a really dynamic friend who just started a small business, and I think she'd be a perfect new member. The one question I know she would ask me is,
That's a great question, son. The international president-elect, Valerie Wafer, has tasked us to ask ourselves these hard questions.
Are you looking for opportunities to improve your business profile? Do you know that opening access to all sends a signal that Jamestown Rotary really is a leader to all in your community? Organizations that have a strong culture of inclusion make it safe to make mistakes and to take chances. What big ideas can we try? What are some ways a new member can enter a Rotary meeting and feel valued?
Thank you. Now that you've seen the video, I hope you've enjoyed it. I must say we learned a great deal researching this. And so we've put the 4 questions in front of you. They're on the tables, and members of the committee are going to help be scribes for those of you in the building. And then I'm going to, if you'll give me a minute on Zoom, bear with me, and I will set up your breakout rooms. And there will be committee members there also.
Since we didn't get to the other 2 questions, Noah, could you repeat them for us? The last 2, I know there were 4.
Yes, and I'm not sure if it made it through the end of the break room, but I wanted to thank everybody in my room for such a good conversation. So the other 2 were, what are some ways a new member can enter a Rotary meeting and feel valued?
All right.
Ideas can we try?
Very good. Thank you, everyone, for participating. I'm sorry, I was on mute, so the folks on Zoom didn't know I was speaking. So I hope that this was interesting to you. We are very interested on the committee to find out what your ideas are. But I was wondering, can we have a couple things from the room? I can come around with the mic and hear about things ideas that the different groups had. So who would like to, Chris, you want to say something?
Well, I had this fine group of gentlemen here, so thank you guys for discussing this with us. I'll just go down through one for each. What in the presentation surprised you or made you stop and think? Some of our members didn't realize that we were turned down as a Rotary Club multiple times before we actually made it in to Rotary International. So that was a little thing that was a little surprising to people. What can Rotary do to be more inviting? Some ideas were to put some more advertisement / PSAs out there. Advertising for Rotary, new membership,
What are some ways a new member can enter a Rotary meeting and feel valued? Just maybe have people make more of an effort to reach out to someone that may be a potential new member or a new member. Go up to them, introduce yourself, let them know who you are, just create that connection. And then big ideas we can try. One of our ideas was to bring in more presenters on diversity, equity, and inclusion. We did bring in the Jamestown Pride Committee about a month ago, and that was a good presentation. So our thought was maybe we should get some more of those presentations here.
Thank you so much, and thanks for your thoughts. Who else would like? Sharon?
I don't know if I have an answer for every question, but I guess our group was surprised that it took a Supreme Court order to allow women to join the club way past time. And what would our club do without the women that are included here? Just look around the room and look on the screen. Anyway, so that was surprising, but also the same as nothing negative. Okay. And we were surprised by, is this negative? Buffalo Club's resistance. We were also surprised by that. Because we are a community of great people. What can Rotary do to be more inviting? We talked about, we need to outreach to the Hispanic community as it begins to get larger and larger around us. And we thought, and the committee itself has talked about, bringing Hispanic people in to speak about whatever group they're a part of, or to speak, to have people speak to us about opportunities perhaps for the Hispanic community, and welcome them and allow them an opportunity to get to know us. And what big ideas can we try? Our group said, contact Kurt Young.
Noah or Rebecca, do either of you have something from your group? Noah?
Sure, absolutely. So I will be the third one to say that there was some surprise in my group about the difficulty in our getting started, that there wasn't enough diversity in our industry. But beyond that point, our group was not surprised that our club wasn't diverse in the past, and glad to hear that we're aware of that need. But we didn't get to all the questions. We had a pretty good conversation about how we could reach out to people in the community, find out about others' perspectives, and how difficult that might be, that we sort of create an echo chamber because we only tend to invite people that we already know into our own group. And that sort of limits the ways that we can reach out into our community and reach out into the perspectives of the community. So there was a suggestion that we might want to put a join button on our website, or find some ways that we could recruit outside of the circles that we've already built up to try and increase that diversity. And there was a special mention of young professionals within the community, maybe working with some other civic groups. There used to be a young professionals group that's sort of been, I think, sidelined by COVID. But if we could find organizations like that to work with, that it might help expose our group to some more ideas.
Great. Becky, did your group have any new thoughts?
We were surprised about the things that have been mentioned, but also somebody was unaware that we'd started places like the Boys Club. And there again, they all said we look the same and we should try for diversity, maybe by reaching out, not only, sorry, my husband just walked out. So we need diversity of age as well as color and Hispanics. But we need to also reach out to people of all income levels as well, instead of just people that own businesses or are head of different groups. We need to reach out to all kinds of people, not necessarily middle to upper income, was I think the way it was put. And another person suggested more social events, and maybe we should not ask for so much money from people and change meeting times. If we're looking for people that are younger and out working and maybe not working as the head of something where they're permitted to come to meetings.
Okay.
I think that's about it.
Thank you very much. Very much. Anything, Joni, your group?
Yep, we were surprised too. And what can our Rotary Club do to be more inviting? We one way was, I thought was clever. It was come from the other direction. We need to be more intentional about how potential members can approach us. We have a lot of articles in the newspaper, lots of great things happening, but is there a way for them to approach us and say, I want to come to a meeting? Is there a name they can call? Is there a person, a phone number, other than an email, something like that? So we need to be more personal about our ask, and then have follow through when that person comes to have lunch. What are some ways a new member can enter a meeting and feel valued? Well, be invited to a table as they come in, be invited to do a project, be invited to be on a committee. Also, and this was a clever one, invite two people to come together when you're the member inviting people to come to a meeting, and they'll feel like they're not alone in the room because there's two new people there. They're not alone. And last, what big ideas can we try? This is mostly internal, but do the simple change your table and seat every week to meet all the other people in the room instead of sitting at the same table every week.
Thank you very much. And Marion, your group got?
Without repeating what's already been said, several good points were brought up. And we were fortunate to have a new member with us. So Dewey is gold. So thank you. Yeah, he's a talker. So thank God we finished, because yeah, Dewey was doing a lot of talking. One of the things that he suggested that I thought was really great in terms of new members, although everybody here is warm and welcoming, keep that communication open. Find out where new members will fit in best. And that's not something you'll know instantly, but over time. So that also lends itself to continuing these open relationships. Reaching out to trade schools, the teachers, all of the contractors. Dewey has a list that he's going to share. JCC Tech is also great. Advertising our social events, letting people know that all are welcome to learn about Rotary. And then also, and this was suggested somewhat earlier, but on our website, allowing people who, because you need a sponsor and you don't know who's a potential sponsor, identify some of the names of people who you might know or who knows a friend of a friend. And that way you can say, hey, would you be my sponsor? As opposed to being in a closed circle, not knowing, you know, who your friends know. So just on the website, when you say join our team, these are some of the members of Rotary who you may or may not know, but call us. We're happy to meet you and that kind of thing. So I think we could be more welcoming in that regard.
Sally, oh, yes. So we are, for just so you'll know, our next step, we're actually going to be meeting by Zoom tomorrow to go over these ideas. And so we really appreciate the ideas, and we're working on our next steps. We are hoping to provide programs monthly that in some way address inclusion for our club or for our community. And we hope you'll commit to this journey with us. So Sally, if you, or Steve, you.
Whoops. Not to repeat, but what we could do to be more inviting might be to establish greeters that if somebody did show up or was an interested member, that we could stay with them during the meeting and make them feel comfortable. And following into to somebody who's expresses a desire to think about membership is a kind of an informal mentorship where we would follow through and answer questions for them as they look for, say, more information about our club. And big ideas, I think we could consider maybe being a speaker at other organizations or committees and explain what we're all about.
Once again, thanks everyone so much. We really believe this will strengthen our club and increase the relevance of our club to Jamestown in the future. So thank you so much for being a part of this.
Yeah, definitely a big round of applause. The committee did a tremendous job putting this together. The video was, I think, really telling. And I think it would be helpful if we send out those questions by email to the entire club. So if there's other thoughts, everyone has a chance to chime in.
Yeah, it was on my notes to say that, but please, if you think of other things, if you have comments that you didn't feel like expressing today, but you would like to express, please contact any one of the members of the DEI committee.
Thank you, Ruth. Any questions for the committee?
Can you just run through the committee member names one more time? For notes.
So, yes.
Good job.
Um,
Good job.
So Chris Anderson, Marion Beckerink, Joni Blackman, Noah Goodling, Sharon Hamilton, Tori Eargang, Sherry Kroll, Sally Martinez, and Becky Robbins, and myself.
Any other questions?
Thank you, Ruth.
Well, with that, let's give them one more round of applause. I appreciate that we utilize technology to its fullest in this hybrid meeting. As we all know, one of Rotary's major international programs is the eradication of polio in the world. We are down to just 2 countries where polio exists. In honor and thanks of the committee's presentation, a donation will be made to vaccinate 4 children who will never experience polio in their life. Remembering this year's Rotary theme, serve to change lives, caring for and serving others is the best way to live because it changes not only other people's lives, but also our own. And one last announcement before we adjourn, the social committee will be scheduling a meeting in the near future. Please be on the lookout for emails. With that, we are adjourned.
Thank you.